Somewhat a lot to cover, but we'll let the Spirit take lead as always. So, all right, shalom, shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. We're to start this lesson by giving all praises and honor and glory to
Glory to
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Bahashem, Yahushai,
Yahushua,
Bahashem,
Bahashem,
Ruach HaKodesh,
Rakadash.
and double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders, all right, of Great Millstone who rule well and have taught us this word in truth and sincerity. Peace and mercy to hopeful elect, all right, starting with the 144,000. That's pushing this word in truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. All right, and as well as the numeral multitude that sincerely believe. Peace and mercy to you and your household. So, again, my name is Amath. I have Ashar here with me and Malak. All right, we're here from GMS Toronto, and today's class is going to be another edition of Doomsday Prophecy. As you see the title, Division, Division, Division. Beware of the adversary. Okay. If you haven't been living on a rock, right, you've been seeing all of the, major events that have been taking place in the span of a couple days, right? From a stabbing in a subway or in a public transit to the assassination of Charlie Kirk, right? With what else was going on? Lots of things, man. Nepal is in a complete uproar. Generation Z is going crazy. France is completely done. I think they're already looking for a new prime minister. Macron's already looking for a new prime minister. So much is happening worldwide. And again, those birth pains are growing more and more and more. Why? Because we're getting close to the very end of this thing, the end of this man's rulership. All right. Esau, Edom, as the scriptures say, the world is given into the hand of the wicked. Okay. And when you look at, these recent unalivings, I'll say it like that. I don't really like to say it like that, but I'll say it like that. These recent unalivings, with this Ukrainian woman, Ukrainian refugee, and then going on with Charlie Kirk. The narrative, which they haven't found, they haven't found the shooter yet, but very interested, to see who they choose to be the, I guess the what's it called, assassin. All right, it might be a Jake, it might not be, but when you look at all these events, what you have to look at is the aftermath. You can't get caught up in the frenzy of everything that's happening, because we've been given the eyesight, right, to see completely through all the chaos. So you got to see what's the aftermath. What's Esau's plan? We know that according to prophecy, all right, that they're going to come down with a great accusation, all right, because this man is accuser of the brethren. All right, so that's why it's a part of the title is beware of the adversary. We have to stay prayed up. All right, those brothers and sisters that sincerely believe in Yahweh Shah, you gotta stay prayed up. All right, because it's going to take an immense amount of faith to get through what this devil is getting ready to bring down on not just us, starting with us, right? Because he's coming after those that have the 100% truth, but Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. And it's going to be worldwide, but it's going to be centered, and the height of it and the heat of it is going to be in America, Babylon the Great. Okay, so we got a couple clips we're going to get into. And we're going to get into PSYOP. If you don't know what a PSYOP is, we'll bring that out today. Because that's what these events are, the PSYOPs. Okay. I don't know if you brothers have something you want to bring out real quick before we get into these clips.
Oh, as always, I have something right because, simply put, I'm going to go to the Book of Wisdom of Solomon. I'm going to read from the 5th chapter. I'm going to read 2 verses because the word that stands out there is the righteous will stand in great boldness. And before that great boldness, or I should say, within the requirements of that boldness entitles humility, right?
You want to get King James?
Yeah, You know what? That's a spirit because I think you want to get it at G&T, see how it sounds, right? But this is a
You
staple
want me to get a
scripture.
G&T?
Yeah, were you thinking of that? I'm just
No,
saying,
I'm
but
just, hey, whatever, man. Hey,
because I'm
whatever.
okay.
And it makes no difference. Whatever you
All
got,
right,
we'll bring it out.
all right. I'll read it from the KJV, and if anything, let's see how it sounds in the G&T because this is a staple. And real quick, let me go there because I just want to read the two verses.
What chapter?
Chapter 5. I'm going to read verses 1 and 2, right? And right, the condition of the righteous in the time of what time end time prophecy, and of course, as the Spirit guides us. So it
Mm-hmm.
says, mhm, Wisdom of Solomon 5, verse 1. Point is in verse 2. It says, Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labors. Right? So, great boldness, that word goes into courage. And it's an attribute that the Lord, those who have the spirit of prophecy, it has been given to them, they're going to have this great boldness, this courage to stand, right? Simply put, verse 2, here's the point, going into it. It says, When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So far beyond all that they look for. Simply put, we went into it yesterday towards the end of the lesson in regards to how the Spirit's going to be leading the elect. Okay. And you're going to see strange things happen in regards to spiritual powers attending them. Okay. Their walk and their life. Right. But this year is going into our deliverance. That's a deliverance out of this thing. The amazement going into the full deliverance when the Lord delivers his elect up. Right? It's going to be strange to you people, right? And there's a great quote. Lastly, truth is stranger than fiction, right? And we're surrounded by a lot of fiction and a lot of lies and deceit. So yes, great boldness to stand. That's all I got on that. Um,
Let me get this precept here. Psalms from the common board. Shalom to sincere brothers. This is from the common board. Shalom. Y'all watching Melchizedek. This is from the brother Pillars of Benjamin. Shalom. This is Psalm 17. And I'll get it in 9. It says, because remember, this devil, he knows he can't come straight for us directly without making an accusation, right? He's always worked on an accusation. That's why he's called the accuser of the brethren. So this is Psalm 17 and 9. It
mhm.
says, protect me from wicked people who attack me, from murderous enemies who surround me. Oh, this is NLT. Let me get this in the King James. Or, let's see how it sounds here in NLT. I haven't read this in NLT. It says, protect me from wicked people who attack me, from murderous enemies who surround me. They are without pity. Listen to their boasting, right? And now you see people, that spirit of Esau is being roused up,
Mhm.
right? And we're gonna get into these clips. Esau is basically saying that you've woken up a sleeping giant now. We're coming for you now, type spirit, which is just the Lord, all right, working on the minds of the people, right, to fulfill prophecy, which is what? Civil unrest, civil war, things that we've been speaking about, or starting with the apostles, bishops, and elders on down for decades.
Mhm.
Okay, and Yahweh Shai spoke about it when he was here 2,000 plus years ago, talking about how can a house stand if it be divided among itself, right?
Mhm.
We'll get that precept too. So it says, they are without pity, listen to their boasting. They track me down and surround me, which is what's happening right now. There's a tracking, all right? of those that have the truth. All right, that's happening. Okay, so it says they track me down and surround me, watching for the chance to throw me to the ground. You see,
Mm,
so what's happening? Let's believe when you look at these events and and it's the Holy Spirit is dealing with you. You got to look at the aftermath, like I said earlier, the aftermath of what they want to do with these events. Okay, these events are to basically come up to build a narrative, all right, where you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are the enemy. You're the problem. You're the cause of
mhm,
why America is in a declining state. All right, and they're going to
mhm,
use that narrative to come after the Negro, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
starting with the Israelites. I know they're Israelites. Okay,
mhm,
because above the regular everyday Jake, okay, they're really the top wicked elites. They're more concerned about those that know the prophecies, that have the 100% truth. Okay, so we're foretelling their fall, and not only that, but we're exposing them for all their wickedness. Okay,
mhm,
as it says, they are like hungry lions, eager to tear me apart.
mhm,
Yep,
mhm.
yep, like young lions hiding in ambush. You see,
Yep.
so keep your eyes peeled, man. And like I said, I can't say it enough. Stay prayed up, man. Stay prayed up that the Holy Spirit, you know, be constantly with you, because this man, Esau Edom, like it says, is like a young lion hiding in ambush, right? He's crouching, getting ready to pounce. Okay. And we only have about 3 months into 2026, man. And we know 2026, hey, life itself can change overnight. Okay. So a lot can happen in 3 months. As it says, arise, O Lord, stand against them and bring them to their knees. Rescue me from the wicked with your sword.
Mhm, mhm,
Okay.
mhm,
And the Lord said that there's also another scripture that talks about how the Lord will set up a standard, all right, for the hopeful elect.
Mm-hmm.
All
mhm,
right. And ultimately that sword is going to go into the destruction that will come by nuclear missiles, and also Yahweh coming with the host of heaven and the chariots. All right. Oh, look at that. It says here, by the power of your hand, right? Which is Yahweh Shai. O Lord, Yahweh, destroy those who look to this world for their reward, right? But satisfy the hunger of your treasured ones,
mhm,
right? The elect. And what's our hunger? The kingdom of heaven being established on earth. The destruction of of Babylon the Great. We're talking code, right? The destruction of Babylon the Great, okay, and the taking down of the wicked, which is
mhm,
Esau, Edom. May their children have plenty, leaving in leaving an inheritance for the descendants. That's right. Okay.
Can I bring this precept about Kusha?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Going into what you just read right now, and as usual, daily we blow in the trumpet. So this is the book of First Peter 5. I'll read from 8 to 9 in NLT, and it reads, "Stay alert, watch out for your great enemy, the devil." And we always know the devil doesn't mean because you're red. How Esau persuade Salakia. Picture him, a red man with a tail. This doesn't mean that's the devil, right? It reads, he prowls around like a roaring lion, looking for someone to devour.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 9, stand firm against him and be strong in your faith. And the only faith we have is this truth. It
Yep.
reads, remember that your Christian brothers and sisters are, so like all over the world are going through the same kind of suffering you are. Hey, we got brothers worldwide teaching this truth. And, in some parts of the world, in Europe, they're probably going through this right now. They're
Yep.
suffering.
Yep. That's right.
Absolutely.
Um, I want to get yeah, and then when you read about the devil, to stay alert, verse 8, stay alert, watch out for your great enemy, the devil,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's both the spiritual demon Satan. All right, because he's coming to. He's also working or coming to try to entrap you in your mind.
That's right. Yeah.
All right, by inward agitations, whatever's
Mm-hmm.
going on in your everyday life. Listen, and I'm gonna say this through the spirit, man. There's if you're a brother that's been in this truth, whether you're in a camp or even diligently listen to a camp, coming out there on every Saturday or Friday or twice or three times a week, every time they're prophesying, you're out there with them, all right, on the other side for a year or so, you should be doing lessons, man. Like, with all the things that are going on, you should be doing at least 3 lessons a week. All right. And for men that have been in the truth longer than that, 5, 6, 7 years, 8 years, 10 years, there's no excuse to be doing a lesson, not to be doing lesson every day, man. These lessons are they serve as a sweet savor in the Most High's nostrils, man. This is us storing up our spiritual bank accounts, provided that we're sincere, right? While we do these lessons, we're not hypocrites. Okay, if you're a hypocrite, everything you do is tainted. But if you're sincere, right, with the truth, then all you're doing is storing up spiritual blessings, man, and protection for the great time to come. Don't slight this period, this grace period that we have to do the work, because the spiritual demon Satan is on a prowl, man. He's on a prowl. So do the work. There's no excuse whatsoever, man. And then obviously we know physically, that's talking about his physical counterpart, right? Esau Edom, like you brought out,
Mm-hmm.
and he's working fast. Look how many things have been happening in the past week.
Yeah.
In the past week, major events take place. Now with this guy, Charlie Clerk, hey, we'll get into it. I don't want to run ahead, but we'll get into it. Let me play this too as well, because I think, Ashar, you posted this in the chat, but I want to play this just to show everything that's happening globally, and America's the center of everything, because America's the center of prophecy.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta start saying Babylon the Great, but it is what it is. Let's watch this video. You guys can hear this, right?
Straight.
Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. As you see, look at this. These are uproars, right? You got Ireland, Germany, France, Poland,
Mm-hmm.
Britain, Australia, Spain, Austria. So Europe is completely in an uproar, man. So know this:
Mm-hmm.
the all these prime ministers in Europe, they all work for the top wicked elite, right?
Right.
The bankers, the ones you don't hear about. And what's happening in Europe is what they want to bring over to the Western Hemisphere. Okay, that's what they want to bring over to the Western Hemisphere. Donald Trump, he has men that he works for, the top wicked elite that he works for, and there's an agenda that we've been constantly telling you Israelites, going back to our apostles and bishops and elders, even before them as well, for decades, man. And that time of grace, the door is shutting. You can see these events playing out. The door is shutting up, man. Very soon, with all these different things playing, and these assassination attempts, and these assassinations, and these unalivings and public transits, is going to call for a mass amount of surveillance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and with that amount of surveillance, you think we're going to be able to be out here prophesying, or even on the internet talking, teaching the word? We're not going to be able to do that. So once the prophets are not there, that's it. There is no banging on the door, the proverbial door of the ark, asking for help.
That's right.
That's it.
That's right.
Okay, let me continue this.
Yep, that is happening right now all around the world, and you have no idea. That was the whole point of the TikTok takeover. TikTok was the only app left that allowed us to have a conversation without government, without the powers that be. To be fair, today, a Nigerian artist, this guy named Kelly Handsome, he slid in my DM to let me know that there's a new app that's an African app. It's owned by Africans, funded by Africans, and it doesn't. There's no Instagram / But anyways, I'm gonna check it out and see how it is. And it's very some because the government's.
The main point is what you saw in the beginning, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All these upwards of the people. Well, And it's true. You're not really seeing a lot of coverage on it, but that's media for you. Okay, that's media for you, man. Was that it on this? For
Yeah,
sure.
that was it on that. Yeah.
I'm gonna get one more too, and then we'll get into these clips. There's so much to bring out. There's so much we can get into, but
Yeah.
you know, hey man, the point has been made so much time over and over again. But nevertheless, the Spirit's on us to keep going in until the Lord says stop.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a beautiful example of what we just saw there. According to Scripture, the people are drunk with the wine of Babylon. Man, they're confused inside their minds. But more importantly, you mentioned coming to Babylon. It'll be a beautiful thing to. Hey, I have to say that it'll be a beautiful thing to watch how drunk these people are. In other words, when they kick off.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, we're seeing that exercise right there with them being drunk on the wine of Babylon. Yeah. Just wanted to make that
That's
point.
right. This is Matthew 26:40, and this is an NLT. It says, "Then he returned to the disciples and found them asleep." Okay, you don't want to be caught sleeping in this time, man. Scripture says it's high time that you wake out of sleep. Okay, and this is why Yahweh Shai got on them, as he says here. He said to Peter, "Couldn't you watch with me even 1 hour?" Okay, keep watch and pray, so that you will not give into temptation. What's the ultimate temptation that the world is going to be tried with? To see him, right? The great time of testing. That's the ultimate temptation. So how are you going to keep watch if you're not doing lessons? Unless you're watching and you're not reporting, that's even worse. You know what the scriptures say about that? That's a dog that doesn't bark, that doesn't give an alarm sound when it should. That's very serious, man. And you got a lot of Israelites partying and bullshitting, having Israelite cookouts, doing boat parties, parties, and here you have Esau Edom, devising and scheming and ready for that ambush. That's why we're not going to feel no ways about you Jakes that don't understand the severity of what we're involved in. Okay, the seriousness of what we're doing. Okay, what Yahweh Shai has called us into. So I read it again. It says, "Keep watch and pray." Okay, keep watch and pray, so that you will not give into temptation. For the spirit is willing, but the body is weak. Then Yahweh Shai left them a second time and prayed, "My Father, if this cup cannot be taken away unless I drink it, your will be done." All right. So hey, you know that moment. That was Yahweh Shai's hour, his what's it called? Gethsemane?
Gethsemane. Yeah.
His hour of Gethsemane moment, right?
That's right.
Where he was the oil being pressed. We're all going to come to that situation, man. And you don't want to slight when the Lord was calling out to you to work on your salvation with fear and trembling, or you don't want to slight that. When that time comes, you will fall into temptation. All right, that goes for us too. But this is why you see us doing lessons every day, because we don't want to be caught in temptation, man.
That's right.
All right. So let's go and play these clips.
Real quick, you'd asked for, I don't know if you're ready for them, but you'd asked for 2 precepts. I'm holding them. And you quoted 3.
Which ones?
You quoted another one. So you asked about the standard, lift up the standard, Isaiah 59 and 19. Right? Because that's that those who the spirit of prophecy is with, they're not going to be sleeping then. Right? Because the Lord is going to raise that standard up. You had asked for Isaiah 59 and 19, and the other one is gone by already, but you brought it out before you went into the video about the house not divided. The house that is divided will not stand. But the main one here,
Isaiah 59,
and 19, right? Yeah, 59, 19. Lift up the standard. Yeah, that's the one you'd ask for.
Let's read that one, and then we'll get
Yeah,
these clips.
yeah, beautiful. Yeah.
So Isaiah,
Mhm.
Isaiah 59:19. So shall they fear the name of the Lord Yahweh from the
Mhm.
west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the spirit of the Lord Yahweh shall lift up a standard against him. Yep,
All right. Simply put,
yep.
so that's the spirit that the elect is going to be in. They're not going to be sleepy. They're not going to be slumbering. They're going to be highly, they're going to be occupied in prophecy in the spirit. See? So that's it.
And
Just
you know
want
what the
to,
worst thing about sleeping is when you sleep, all right, and according to Esau, you dream every night. You just sometimes you don't remember them and sometimes you do. But
Mhm.
when you're asleep and you dream, sometimes you feel like the dream is real,
Mhm.
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So you don't want to be that Israelite that thinks he's, in the truth, doing the work, but you're really sleeping and dreaming.
Mhm.
All
Mhm.
right. That's a heavy spirit. Because I remember the elder bishop Ayathon talked about that. He called it what do you say? I'm still in the truth demon, right? That's why the scriptures say, examine thyself whether ye be in the faith. Really consider, if you're someone who's on a streak of one lesson every 10 days, 2 lessons every 14 days. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you got to think, like, what's going on here? It's not like you don't have, what's it called? Topics to teach. You have topics to teach, but you're not doing it for a particular reason. Only you can find out. Okay. So let's go ahead and play this clip. This is from Jason A. The end of America has begun. Okay.
Mhm.
Fair use, fair use, fair use. None of the channels on this panel are making money from this video. We're just showing it for educational purposes only. And there's no we're not giving any medical information at all. All right. So fair use, fair use, fair use.
That it's somewhat object of mockery to say thoughts and prayers, but thoughts and prayers for his family. And they need it from all of us. And Jesse's right. If they could do this, they are capable of anything. I think that was the message. I believe that was the message. It's really hard to radicalize Republicans.
Yep.
It's like we're not the radical type. But if you thought that you were going to shut a movement down, you're going to get a rude awakening. You woke us the fuck up.
And we will.
This is a day for our state. It's a tragic day for our nation. I want to be very clear that this is a political assassination.
Yeah, well, we are digesting the news the same as you. The confirmation from the president that Charlie Kirk has passed away, really just putting a finer point on the concern and worry that had been sort of settling in here at the White House for the last hour or so before this news came out.
For far too long, Americans have been forced to put up with Democrat-run cities, set loose savage, bloodthirsty criminals to prey on innocent people, really very, very innocent people. In every place, they control radical left judges, politicians, and activists, and they've adopted a policy of catch and release for thugs and killers.
I'm tired also of the term mental illness being used as a cover for criminality. When a thug targets a woman, that is not insane. He knows she's weaker. When he comes from behind with a knife, that's not insane. He minimizes her ability to inflict harm on him. When the thug flees, that's sane because he knows if he stays, he'll be arrested. So what would be insane would be if he were to face off against a man without a weapon, somebody like a Tyrus. That would be insane. You'd go, okay, that's crazy. But almost all of these people that do this stuff, they go after women. That is not insane. That's self-preservation. This is not insanity. It's an evil mind. And it's an evil mind that is somehow excused in a culture that weaponizes victim status. In this case, mental illness. And what is it about a society that contributes to this?
Congressman Tim Moore is calling for the removal of the judge who initially released the suspect in the deadly light rail stabbing. Officials say Carlos Brown has a lengthy criminal history. He was released by Judge Teresa Stokes on a promise to appear when the deadly incident occurred. In a statement sent to Queen City News, Congressman Moore says, Irina Zachurskas' blood is on the hands of every single person who made it possible for this monster to walk free. Moore also introduced legislation to end cashless bail.
Here's the truth that every American must know. Too many innocent people across the country continue to pay the price of the failed experiment known as cashless bail that has been championed by the Democrat Party for years.
Most murders in the U.S. never become national news. This one's garnered attention for a couple of reasons. Number one, first and foremost, the recent release of that gruesome video. Second, the energy from pro-Trump activists. They picked up on this video from local news and ran with it. It's a little bit like the times when civil rights groups have raised attention about police-involved shootings. In this case, it is Trump-aligned influencers who are posting up a storm about this case on social media. Really, over the weekend, Elon Musk, Charlie Kirk, other Trump-aligned figures succeeded in making this senseless death a symbol of big city crime. We heard President Trump asked about it yesterday when he was heading home from New York City. He didn't seem to know much about it. He said he would get briefed, and then
All right. So let's skip ahead a little bit and get the rest of it. They'll bring up some precepts.
The problems, we decide what you cover.
In Charlotte, North Carolina, we saw the results of these policies when a 23-year-old woman who came here from Ukraine met her bloody end on a public train. And here's a picture of it. This is the picture of it. And this is a picture of the woman, a beautiful young girl that never had problems in life.
And this is why Apostle the Heart in the spirit jumped on him to say, no dreadlocks in the camp, man. Now they've been coming after all you jakes with dreadlocks in camps. All right.
With a magnificent future in this country. And now she's dead. She was slaughtered by a deranged monster who was roaming free after 14 prior arrests. We cannot allow a depraved criminal element of violent repeat offenders to continue spreading destruction and death throughout our country. We have to respond with force and strength. We have to be vicious just like they are. It's the only thing they understand. 24 of the top 25 most dangerous cities in America.
You hear that? We got to be vicious as they are.
Yep.
That's the only thing they understand. Who do you think he's talking about? He just showed you a picture, all right, by of the murderer of this Ukrainian refugee. Okay, so this devil's setting up an ambush, man.
Yep.
Okay, that's why we're prefacing. Hey, let me get this real quick. We keep prefacing, man. You Jakes, get right with the Lord, man. Those of you that are sincere, continue to stay right with the Lord. All right, and it only really, as you know, you said, Malak, only the elect will have the spirit of not being in slumber. Only the elect won't be in slumber. So the rest of you are finished.
That's right. Says so.
And, hey, when this devil comes down, man, you're gonna have no protection. Hey, you're gonna have no protection.
That's right.
Let's go 2 Ezra 15. Let me get this in the GNT. Okay, and let's see. It says, I'll start from 1. It says here, 2 Ezra 15:1 in the GNT, the Lord says, proclaim to my people the prophetic message that I will give to you, and then have them written down because they are true and will be fulfilled. And we're seeing them be fulfilled in our time right now. Okay. Do not be afraid of those who plot against you or be discouraged by their unbelief. So the hopeful elect, all right, we're not afraid of the plots of the wicked and the rest of 2/3 that don't believe. Okay, we're locked and loaded with Yahweh Shemel Shai. Okay, the spirit and truth. All believers will die because of their unbelief. Okay,
that's right.
The Lord Yahweh, the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai says, I am going to bring terrible disasters on the whole world, war, famine, death, and destruction, because wickedness has spread everywhere and evil has reached its limit. Therefore, the Lord says, I will no longer remain silent about the wickedness of these godless people, including Jake. Okay, I will no longer tolerate it. They have murdered innocent people, and the blood they have spilled cries out to me for revenge. The souls of the righteous are constantly pleading for vengeance. Right? Those that have already died in the truth. Guess what they're doing up in the heavens, man? Asking the Lord how long, pleading with the Heavenly Father. There's a main point here I want to get. Yeah, verse 10, as it says here, my people, this is the main point, right? It says, my people are being led to the slaughter like a flock of sheep. All right? they will no longer have to live in Egypt. And those that this part of the verse applies to is the elect.
Mhm.
Okay, the rest of you are going to die here in Babylon the Great. Okay,
Right.
I will use all my strength and power to bring them out of that land. I will bring disasters upon Egypt as I did earlier, showing that it's talking about a prophetic Egypt, a spiritual Egypt.
That's
Okay,
right. That's right.
as I did earlier, and I will destroy their country. Okay, and I might as well keep going a little bit. It says here, the whole land will be in mourning. It will be shaken to its foundation when I, the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai, strike it and pound it. We'll skip down to verse 14. It says,
Mhm.
the world and the people in it are doomed. The war that will bring their destruction is very near. And before world war is you're gonna have race war, religious war,
Mhm.
civil war.
Yep.
Nations will arm themselves and fight against other nations. This is what you see brewing. And Esau Edom is using his
Mhm.
statistics, which is pseudoscience. He's
Yep.
using the media, right, to stir up the minds of the people to create chaos. Okay,
Yeah.
there will be great political turmoil. This is where we are right now. Great
Yep.
political turmoil, and this happened worldwide, with one group trying to overpower another and gain control.
That's right.
Right, the left-right paradigm,
Yeah.
right, or paradox, and
Mhm.
it says, while ignoring the legitimate government, there will no longer be free access into the cities. Why? Because of surveillance.
Beautiful.
All this violence, all right, and assassinations that are happening, okay, and unalivings, okay, are going to it's going to cause for a great mass amount of surveillance,
Woo.
right? With Palantir, AI, drones, okay? Because of the struggle for power will bring destruction, terror, and total confusion wherever people live, okay?
That's
And
right.
it says here, driven by famine and terrible suffering, people will assault their neighbors and mercilessly plunder their possessions. This is what you see basically happening over there in Europe,
Mhm.
right? Europe is in complete shambles, man.
That's right. The drunk is drunk. He's going crazy.
You know?
If I may just say this, was that your point, brother? On that?
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
No,
You got it.
I just wanted to say real quick, man. I haven't heard anything from BRICS for quite some time, but they're brewing over there, right? You're seeing the brew of that in regards to those BRICS nations. Let me be clear, and then you have the European nations, right? Just wanted to bring that out. Simply put, but what's the word I'm looking for? You brought up a great point, just in case you dum-dums missed it. Surveillance. Okay. And the United States just passed the the Genius Act, the Digital Genius Act. That's going into digital identity by way of health. So yes, the other nations, the other nations outside of that, we're going to watch this thing happen with the other nations, but America is in position. Babylon is, excuse me, is in position. Let me just say that.
Babylon.
Anyway, yeah, but,
That's right.
They're talking in code.
yeah. So simply put, I just wanted to bring out the fact that you mentioned the term surveillance, and that's what
Yeah.
that Genius Act is all about. Hey, they told us what it is. We're not making stuff up. Fair use, fair use. You can go look it up. Go read up what the Digital Act is. So yes, here in America, right? That's going to be one of their tools that they'll use. Okay, the Genius Act. Anyway, that's the point on that. Just wanted to bring that up.
Can I bring this precept about Kusha?
Sure.
Because you mentioned it at the beginning, need to wake up out of sleep, and we're getting closer to the end of this place. So this is the book of Luke 21. I'll read from 31 to 34. And it reads, so likewise, when you see these things come to pass, know that the kingdom of Yahweh is nigh at hand, and we see this coming. We see the kingdom coming closer with all these words that are coming to place, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Also, Jacob's trouble, World War III, and the MOTV,
Mm-hmm.
right?
The climax.
Verse 32, verily I say unto you, this generation should not pass away until all be fulfilled. What I just mentioned, those things are going to come to pass. It's going to fulfill prophecy. Verse 33, heaven and earth should pass away, but my word should not pass away. Hey, we believe in this truth 100%, right?
Yep.
Here's the last verse. And take heed.
Read down to 36, because I had that too.
Verse 34, and take heed to yourself, lest any time your hearts be overcharged with suffering, surfeiting, and drunkenness, and curse of this life, and so that they come upon you unawareness. And you need to be aware of yourself.
Yeah, hey, this is why I was saying that earlier, man. What I was saying earlier. You can't listen, the thing is you can't defend yourself against these things because you're in a sinful flesh. So what's our defense against the surfeiting, all right, or being overcharged, which is basically going to not being balanced with the world, right? The scriptures say, use the world, but not abuse it, right? So lest at any times your hearts are overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and cares of this life. How are you going to make sure that doesn't happen? By staying locked and loaded into the spirit, right? By prayer, obviously fasting, but doing the work. Doing the work, man. Doing the work keeps you in the spirit because you're doing the work. There's no other way to really break it down.
Hey, we're already here, and we just dodging bullets in this place because everyone is drunk with this philosophy of this place. Verse 35, for as a snare shall it come on all of them that dwell on the face of the whole earth. Watch ye, therefore, and pray always. You just mentioned it right now, that you may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that should come to pass and to stand before the Son of Man.
You see? This is why we've been given this knowledge. So we can see all the way through the bullshit, looking at what? The return of our Lord. The return of Yahweh, the return of Yahweh Shai needs to be it's at the forefront of the whole full elect. That's why they're likened to what? The bridegroom or the bride, right? Preparing herself for the bridegroom. If your mind is overcharged with the surfeiting of this life and the cares of this life, you're not going to prepare yourself properly for the bridegroom. You're going to be unprepared. Okay. Now this word overcharged, when you get into the Greek,
Strong's G 925. Baruno.
okay, what did it say? It says to weigh down, overcharged. Listen, if you feel overburdened or overcharged or completely weighed down, you're probably not praying enough. You're probably not doing something in the spirit that keeps you because when you stay in the spirit, what happens is you give the cares of this life and the worries of this life onto Yahweh Shem Shai, and he carries it. Right? Doesn't the scripture say, cast your burdens upon me? Right? Cast your burdens upon me. So what? So you can focus on the truth.
That's right. And remain humble, because it says, and I will give you rest. Roughly paraphrasing it. So, when that burden comes, you cast it to him and he's going to comfort you. Right? Yeah.
It's a fighting.
Strong's G 2897. Kraipale.
Great.
Thayer's Lexicon, related entry.
Wow.
Krepale. Krepale.
So it says the giddiness and headache. The giddiness and headache caused by drinking wine to excess. So, hey, I remember the elder brother from Dallas, Ariala, mentioned how, even with the news, man, sometimes you got to take a break, right? Drinking too much of that wine because Babylon's full of wine,
Too much.
you know? And then you got to make sure that you balance that out. And sometimes you got to stay away from the news for a day and just read scriptures. Stay in prayer and read scriptures, man.
That's right.
Right? Remind ourselves that, remind ourselves of, our walk and our heritage and what we're fighting for, and just supping with Yahweh Shai via the scriptures, as well as, hey, you got the scrolling demon, right? You got Instagram, all these different things. These are all wines, right? They cause headaches, spiritual headaches. Okay?
Oh, let me get this quick backup. Ephesians 5:18, and be not drunk with wine, wherein is excess, but be filled with the Spirit. Like you just mentioned right now, you got to sometimes go into the scriptures because there's too much info out there.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. Look, I got the word giddiness. It just, doesn't really give you a meaning, but it says dizziness and giddiness. Let's get the meaning. See if it gives us a meaning. Yeah, it says a sensation of whirling and a tendency to fall or stagger, dizziness. So what is that? Not stable. Okay? Not being stable. Mentally, you got to be stable. Spiritually, you got to be full of spirit, man, because if you're not stable, you're going to stagger and fall. Okay?
That's right.
So was there another word I wanted to get here? Let's see. No, that was it. So let's continue on this clip here.
America run by they are our country. We have to respond with force and strength. We have to be vicious just like they are. It's the only thing they understand. 24 of the top 25 most dangerous cities in America are run by Democrat mayors. 50 people were murdered in Chicago in recent weeks, with hundreds being shot. And it's time to stop this madness. The people of our country need to insist on protection, safety, law, and order. We have proven that it can be done because we did it right here in D.C., in District of Columbia. The capital of America was a bloodthirsty, horrible, dangerous place, one of the worst. And now it's a crime-free city, and we're going to keep it that way. It can be done. It can happen fast. All we want is, please, Mr. President, we need help. Chicago needs help. Other cities need help. We'll do what has to be done because we're going to make America safe again. And that includes our big cities. We're going to make those cities safe. Thank you.
And we are watching here live, Kennedy, the flag being lowered to half.
All right. So,
Hey, can I bring this out, Babakusha?
yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Based on what these two just say to mention it, here's the point of Revelation 12:12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having a great wrath, because he knoweth that he had but a short time, and that he's going about to do.
That's right.
He's going to come in and deal with you Israelites.
That's right.
That's right.
Let me get this verse. One. This is what the heck? Where's that one? Wrath with the woman.
It's Revelation, but
16. 16. No, maybe 13. Yeah, there you go. I think it's 12. Yep. So this is Revelation 12 and 4, right? It was 12 before a period of wonder. No. You know what? It's lucky. Let me just type it up here.
You went to make war with the remnant of her seed, right? That's the one you want?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Con.
One second. Just pull that. It's in several places there.
Yeah, 12 and 17. Yeah, con.
12 and
I knew it was
17.
in 12. So this is Revelation 12, verse 17. This is the point. It says, and the dragon, okay, all right, and the dragon was wroth with the woman. And we know this is historical, this is history, but it's also that which is then is now, is playing out now too in the spirit. Okay, so it says, and the dragon was wroth with the woman, right, representing Israel. The woman is Israel, the dragon is Esau, Edom, right? At that time, the Roman Empire. And the dragon was the ancient Roman Empire. And the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed. That's the elect of today. Okay, the hopeful elect, which keep the commandments of Yahweh and have the testimony of Yahweh Shai, Hamashiach, which is prophecy. The testimony of Yahweh Shai is a spirit of prophecy. And just like in ancient Rome, they made war with Israel, and what happened? You had 70 A.D., right? That great diaspora. Prophetically, now you have another great war about to happen. The dragon is waging against the remnant of the seed of Israel, which is the elect.
That's right.
This time, instead of fleeing, being scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, Yahweh Shai is going to beam up his whole full elect. Okay, swoop down for the rescue, so to speak. Now, going into this is from the official Rumble channel for a calling for uprising. It's fair use, fair use, fair use. Right? To see the government production, Charlie Kirk shot and dead on the eve of 9/11 as the call for civil war begins. So we'll play a little bit of this, and then we'll get into PSYOP as well, and that should be it.
Vicks for men's health. My daddy's struggle that never seemed to get better is finally over, and what he did was ridiculous. His doctor told him to
says it has had enough of vaccine misinformation on its site.
We are coming on the air with breaking news right.
Medical information. All right, we're not giving any medical information whatsoever. So. Okay.
Wake up, because this is a call for an uprising.
We are coming on the air with breaking news right now and an update on conservative activist Charlie Kirk. President Trump says that Kirk has died after he was shot from a nearby building about 200 yards away while he was speaking at Utah Valley University. Here's the Trump the president has just put out. I want to put this up. He posted it on Truth Social. He writes, "The great and even legendary Charlie Kirk is dead. No one understood or had the heart of the youth in the United States of America better than Charlie. He was loved and admired by all, especially me, and now he is no longer with us."
Basically, this guy is becoming a martyr for these wacky-tacky and wicked-ass Christians. He's becoming a martyr for them, man. So, hey, man, a lot's going to come out of this. A lot is going to come out.
Melania and my sympathies go out to his beautiful wife, Erica, and family. Charlie, we love you. This is also important. The school is now saying there is no suspect in custody after they previously said that one was.
Yeah, I know that it's somewhat object of mockery to say thoughts and prayers, but thoughts and prayers for his family, and they need it.
all of us. And Jesse's right. If they could do this, they are capable of anything. I think that was the message. I believe that was the message. It's really hard to radicalize Republicans. Yeah. You know, it's like we're not the radical type. But
Game
if you
changing.
thought that you were going to shut the movement down, you're going to get a rude awakening. You woke us the fuck up.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. We're already seeing the instant response from the media. The media is calling for blood. The media is provoking civil war. As you heard, the media, Fox News media, control media, as all the media on your television set is, saying you woke us the F up. This event that the government staged is going to have a profound effect on the laws and the rules moving forward, including AI governance and surveillance. But really, we have to look at the red flag laws. We have to look at the stories that come out about the shooter. Because, of course, they're leaving us in suspense. They're letting this build inside of you. Everybody is hostile towards one another, as I'll show you in this video. This is important to see how people respond to these things. And they're responding even more insanely than I expected. I didn't think people would be this insanely, emotionally invested in a alt-right media pundit getting assassinated. But when you get assassinated in front of everybody's face and they show it to you on television or show it to you on the news or wherever you're picking up your news from, it has a profound effect on the psychosis. So as of me recording this, all they've said is that they have a person of interest in custody. So person of interest, obviously, we take a look at that terminology because person of interest, not a man or a woman in custody. And we're all thinking the same thing, I'm sure, in regards to transgender shooter. That's the government's calling card. Now, they might not use it in this case. They might use a pro-Palestine shooter event. I mean, let's be real. We are on the eve of September 11th, and what better day for the Mossad to operate a really, really big false flag / psychological operation than on the eve of their greatest false flag operation, which was in fact September 11th. So before we delve into the narratives and whether we delve into if it was real, if it was fake, let's look at some of the interesting things that occurred here. The announcement of Charlie Kirk's death came from the President of the United States of America. Donald Trump made the announcement, and all the headlines came from all the media outlets saying Trump says right-wing activist Charlie Kirk has died, and Trump made that statement that you heard earlier mentioned in the video. No one understood or had the heart of the youth in the United States of America better than Charlie. He was loved, admired by all. Well, free to disagree as far as having the understanding of the heart of the youth. These people have control of the minds of the youth on the left and the right, and that is the problem, the left-right paradigm. So Trump was the one who announced his death. And then interestingly enough, what was trending on X/Twitter was that term enough is enough. Remember that from the Illuminati card game, which is best known for that September 11th, those two twin towers exploding and the Pentagon in the card game, also best known for this Enough is Enough card, which came out in the 90s and depicts clearly Donald Trump, as you can clearly see on your screen. So Charlie Kirk's death is going to be a major talking point. Major laws are going to be passed. We're going to see massive events occurring. We're going to see the flip. Remember, the seesaw I always talk about. We're going to see the conservatives take it to the streets now. We're going to see more of the conservatives becoming activists. We are going to see the civil war they've told us about and teased for years and years and years. They've told us this is coming. These stories that you quietly hear about states like Florida getting rid of vaccine mandates, what do you think they're there for? You think DeSantis cares about your kids? You don't think he's a puppet of Israel? Those stories are there. They're hurting mechanisms. Conservative red states are going to make it so appealing for you to move there. Well, you might look at it now and say, I don't need to move. I love my home. They're going to make it so appealing when those Democrat states make it so undesirable to remain there. When they make more vaccine mandates, when they tell you can't have a job unless you get vaccinated, when they tell you have to wear a mask again, when they tell you they're going to enforce climate laws. You might pick up and you might actually go when they tell you that you have to ration your electricity. So this civil war has been brewing. I've been talking about it for almost a decade. But we look at some of the stuff they release, okay? They show us again, just like they showed us with Trump's assassination attempt, his government created assassination attempt. That was a operation of the government. There's no way, just like, they're trying to tell you in this event that Charlie Kirk didn't have any security. You believe that? Let me be clear with you real fast, okay? I'm anonymous. I used to have a big following. If I ever became non-anonymous and went out to speak, I would have.
All right. So the main point here is when he got out in those cards, right? You see in those Illuminati cards, which, hey man, media means media, right? I think, if I'm not mistaken, media goes back to, let's get to the word media real quick. Media, right? Etymology. Newspapers, medium. Look, a medium, right? You get a medium, a middle ground, quality, degree, center interval. So let's see. Because, you also have a medium, right? A medium is almost like a soothsayer. Let's see what the etymology tells us here. In spiritualism, let's see. In spiritualism, a person who conveys spiritual messages, right? So the media conveys spiritual messages on the minds of the people, okay? To wage war. That's what's happening, right? In painting in reference to oil, watercolor, whatever, but it's the notion is liquid with which pigment are ground or mixed to give them desired fluidity. Okay. So it's basically like it says, oh, look at that. The happy medium. Okay. Well, that happy medium is going to be the sea head, right? But until then, they're going to cause
Conveniently.
chaos, right?
Conveniently. That's right.
Exactly. Causing chaos through social media, right? Just want to see if there's anything more on here. That's about it. Now, brother got a precept?
No.
Okay.
Well,
So,
I was going to read Psalms real quick, Psalms 27 and 14, because just wanted to get it in. Was you had prefaced it earlier on, real quick. So let me just get that Psalms 27 and 14, right? Because it goes right back to what you mentioned. 27 and 14, real quick. Yeah, right. The attitude of the elect, simply put, right there.
So Psalms 27 and 14, wait
Mhm.
on the Lord Yahweh and be of good courage, and he shall strengthen thine heart. Wait, I say, on the Lord Yahweh.
Right. So simply put, the word wait means to watch and to pray, right? Watch and pray. And this is what you're seeing, right? And it boils down to a prophecy, right? It
Yep.
boils down to the prophecies. The Lord's going to be guiding the elect through all of this shenanigans, right? They're saying a lot of funny words here. I wanted to look at the word of surveillance, but after you go into what you're going into, brother, we might go to that word later on, surveillance, because it did come up on this video, right? They're doing these psyops because they want to bring about surveillance. But we talked about it already. Go ahead, brother. What you got?
Yeah, this is Psalm 64 and 1
Mhm.
for the choir director, a Psalm of David. O Yahweh,
Mhm.
listen to my complaint. This is an NLT. Protect my life from my enemies' threats. Hide me from the plots of this evil mob, from this gang of wrongdoers. They sharpen their tongues, right? This is what you have. This is what's happening through media, social media, social media, yeah, social media, right?
Wow.
As they're
Wow.
sharpening their tongues like swords to come against who? You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, but in particular, the higher ups, they're sharpening the swords to come against the men of the Lord. Okay, and even you Israelites that call upon the name of the Lord, or you see yourself as Israelites, this is what you're doing. Let me bring these out real quick,
Mhm.
because while your enemy is sharpening his sword to come up against you, you got Jake and you got Esau. You got Jake, partying and bullshitting. So I'll get this one. This is from
Influence our big cities.
the
Beautiful. Oh,
the elder from South Carolina, Manasseh Zakpa.
Yep.
Subscribe and be edified, man. He has a heavy spirit on him. But look at this. Look at this. Look up. While all this is happening, look at this. Fringed Up Fest. Fringed Up Fest 2025.
Oh. What's going on with Jake, man?
Yes, bitch. I'm looking at the dog because it's up. Pick it up.
Merchandise.
Merchandising. Wow.
Hey, man, and hey, we're not saying that, hey, we're just condemning the spirit that you're in. This is not the time to be doing these kind of things, man. Hey, and if you're gonna be, having cookouts, keep it in your backyard. Don't make it such a big event where you're out there like sitting ducks, you know. But Jake won't. Jake will have none of the words of Yahweh Shemel Shai. They want to do things the way they want to do it, so they're gonna have to reap. All right, they're gonna reap what they sowed. This is what you want to sow in the time of grace. Well, you're gonna reap from what you sow, and what you reap is destruction.
Straight. Wow.
Okay. And then you got this here, this boat party. This is what Jake is doing, man. All white boat party. These are all Israelites. These are Jakes. I know they're Israelites. ASAP Yashar.
Wow. Jake's having a good time.
Well, they're having a great time.
Can I bring this up about Kisha?
Hold on, let me finish this up.
Okay.
Verse 2, no, it's all good. Verse 2, 64 and 2 says, hide me from the plots of this evil mob.
That's right.
From the gang of wrongdoers.
Mhm.
They sharpen their tongues like swords, and aim their bitter words like arrows.
Mhm.
They shoot from ambush. Again, with the word of ambush.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
A sudden surprise, right? Let me get that. Okay, go ahead, brother.
They shoot from ambush at the innocent, attacking suddenly and fiercely.
Right. Yeah. Straight.
They encourage each other to do evil and plan how to set their traps in secret. Who will ever notice, they ask. As they plot their crimes, they say, we have devised a perfect plan. Yes, the human heart and mind are cunning, and they have devised a perfect plan, but it is imperfect for the perfect in spirit, which is the whole full elect. Because the Lord, again, is going to set up a standard, man. You're not going to get his elect. All right, you Edomites and those you that are in cahoots with him, all right, of the other nations, the higher ups, you're not going to get his elect. Okay, as it says, but Yahweh himself shall shoot them with his arrows, suddenly striking them down. Their own tongues will ruin them, and all who see them will shake their heads in scorn. That's right. Go ahead, Ak.
Yeah. This is the book of Matthew 24, and I'll read from 42 to 44. Watch, therefore, for ye know what hour. So, like, let me read again. Watch, therefore, for ye know not what hour your Lord Yahweh do come. But know this, that if the good man of the house had known in what watch the thief will come, pretty much going into the video, instead of being smart, you're gonna be caught up in madness, right?
Good man.
And it reads, he will have watched and will know how suffer his house to be broken up. And that's one of the things that I said with the apostle always tell us, you can't be in big crowds, doing nonsense.
Yeah, it's just you gotta be circumspect, man. Why do you want to be in big crowds and people are getting shot up? There's a possibility of that happening anytime.
It says don't follow multitude to do evil. And it reads verse 44, therefore be also ready. Hey, you gotta be ready with these videos. For in such an hour as you think not the Son of Man might cometh. Because we don't know when Yahweh is coming, tomorrow, next week, in a year. But we know that the time is short. Things are speeding up. Prophecies fulfilling quicker.
Yep. Let me pull this out here. This is concerning Esau. Okay, this is from the elder brother GMS Vegas sit downs 144K. Subscribe and be edified.
It happened in broad daylight at an event at Utah Valley University. As Charlie Kirk addressed the crowd, a single fatal shot was fired.
I hear stopped. I just saw him grab, it looked like his neck, and there's just blood pouring out everywhere. And his eyes kind of rolled back.
This video shows security rushing 31-year-old Charlie Kirk to the hospital. The minute Kirk ran for cover.
It's traumatizing. Like, you know, it's scary. It's like, I don't even want to go to school tomorrow.
President Trump confirmed the death on Truth Social. Kirk was a rising star in conservative politics on
Charlie Kirk, for a long time, country, he is seen as someone who was really able to gather the Trump movement, especially those under 30, and make them into a force.
Students streamed off campus as news spread. From both sides of the political spectrum, lawmakers condemned the shooting, calling for an end to political violence.
So it's official. Charlie Kirk is officially dead. What the fuck is wrong with you guys? And the ones fucking saying he had it coming to him, fucking shame on you. As a combat veteran, I didn't fight for everyone's First fucking Amendment for people to sit there and pick and choose. When you liberals go out and protest, you don't go out thinking that you're going to fucking die that day for speaking your goddamn opinion. Now, do you? None of you guys had nothing to say about the Ukrainian chick that got fucking stabbed in the neck by a black dude and had a bunch of black people sitting behind him and walked off like nothing fucking happened, even though she was a Black Lives Matter advocate and fucking rocked with you guys. But no, it stayed fucking silent. If it was the other way around and a white man stabbing a black woman, that should have been all over the fucking news. But it was silence. This is what's wrong, and this is why I moved to the middle of fucking nowhere, because I knew this shit was coming.
Shut up. This is the first time she acted evil, and like this man did not deserve this, and I'm glad that he was a God-fearing man. You know what I'm talking about?
That's okay. We're coming for you.
We're coming for you. See? Hey, and the topic is, hey, the title he entitled this is great. This is only going to stir up civil war and heighten Esau's hate for Jacob. It's all designed. Okay?
That's right. That's right. Too much wine and butter.
Extreme. The left can no longer.
Yeah,
R.I.P. Charlie Kirk. This is insane. The left can no longer hide the fact that they're a party of extreme violence and extreme hatred. You can't hide that stuff no more. They tried to assassinate Trump twice. They assassinated Charlie Kirk, who is just an activist. He's not even in the political theater. They are a party of extreme violence. You need to handle them immediately.
Shalom. Yep. So let me get this.
When you get, can I bring this out when you after you finish? What would be my last?
Okay, go on.
Take your time, brother.
So this is PSYOP, right? Just for those who don't know.
Yep. That's right.
From the chat here, it says here, governments and ruling powers often use psychology or psychological operations, hence PSYOP, to shape public opinion, manufacture consent, and create conditions that allow them to pass laws or policies that would otherwise face resistance, just like the Patriot Act during 9/11. Okay, if 9/11 didn't happen, then the Patriot Act, people would be on this devil, basically. You know, they'd be aware that he's up to no good with the Patriot Act, but no one thought twice about them passing the Patriot Act because of what happened, the events that happened. Right? So it says these operations don't always look like outright lies. They usually mix truth, fear, distraction, and repetition to steer people towards designed conclusion. There's a saying, people don't know the difference between what is true and what was designed or was created for them to believe. You know, people don't understand the difference between what's true and what was created for them to believe. Okay, hence manufactured. Here's how it generally works with some small but clear examples. Manufacturing fear or crisis problem reaction solution. How it works: create or exaggerate a problem, provoke public fear, outrage, offer the solution, a law or policy that was already planned. Examples: after major T attacks, i.e. 9/11, fear of terrorism was heightened, leading to public acceptance of sweeping surveillance law, Patriot Act, TSA security measures. A local crime wave may be sensationalized in media to push for stricter policing laws or surveillance cameras.
That's the spirit.
Okay?
That's
And it
right.
says 2, controlling the narrative through media, how it works. Flood the news and social platforms with one dominant perspective, framing opposition as dangerous, foolish, or unpatriotic. Example, consent, repetition of phrases like for your safety or common sense laws until the public associates compliance with morality. During health crises, selective reporting may amplify extreme worst case scenarios to justify mandates and restrictions. Number 3, divide and conquer, right? Hence the title of this lesson, divide, division, 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 right? How it works. Pit groups of people against each other so they're too busy fighting one another to resist laws from above. Examples, emphasizing political party divisions to distract from bipartisan support for surveillance or financial laws, focusing on cultural wedge issues while quietly slipping in major banks or trading legislations. And this says designation and normalization. There's a lot here. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but
Did you just say legislation? Did it changing
yeah.
legislation? Beautiful. That's it. That's the spirit. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay, so designation, I'll just read, I'm not going to read this whole thing. You guys can look it up in chat for yourself. Just look up, what is a PSYOP and how is it used to control the people by a government. Just look that up in chat and you get all of this. But number 5, it says emotional appeal and symbolism, how it works. Attach laws or policies to emotional charged events, heroes or victims. Charlie Clerk is both a victim and he's a hero, correct?
Yeah.
Ukrainian woman, she's a victim, right? So it says attach laws or policies to emotionally charged events, heroes or victims. Examples, using children as spokespeople for stricter regulations. Do it for the kids. Passing 4 bills wrapped in patriotic language so that opposing them feels unpatriotic. And then obviously you see censorship and gatekeeping. Short psyops are about shaping perception as the people want the solution offered, or at least accept it without major resistance. It's not usually brute force. It's about guiding emotions and beliefs until compliance feels like common sense. Okay. So yeah, man, that's the devil. All right. We are not ignorant of Satan's devices.
Straight.
Shalom. Go ahead, Malak. Bring out your precept, then we'll close up.
Right. I'm going to go to the book of Psalms 55. Psalm 55. I'm going to read from 19 to 22. But I just want to quickly preface, and it came out in the reading there. Simply put, surveillance, okay, and legislation. Right. So we know that it's tied into prophecy. So I'm going to stick to the script in regards to the instruction that is given. Starting with the leader of the free world, right? And then we just saw a bunch of rants of these people, their mindset, right? But the leader of the free world, he said out of his mouth that he's going to come against these people, right? He didn't put a name to them, right?
Yeah.
So simply put, that's them going into sharpening their tongues, right? Going into their legislation. And literally, we know what that's going to turn into, right? So the scriptures declare this. Verse 21 is the point, but I'm going to read from 19 to 22, right? So it says, Psalms 55 and 19, Most High shall hear and afflict them, even he that abideth of old, because they have no changes. Therefore, they fear not our power, Yahweh. They fear not Yahweh. Right? Starting with 2/3 of our people. Okay, simply put, we just saw the video, man. We saw the video with those guys doing what they're doing, and we know that this also points to, more importantly, the wicked. That's what this is going into. The wicked. So, verse 20, Psalm 55 and 20 says, "He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He had broken his covenant." See, so it's telling you what's going on, man. Right? And like I said, we just watched the video, and we just went through these things. And we're not making stuff up. Okay.
Yeah, and it's not like we're at peace with him though. At the same time, this is more so. Verse 20 is more so when you know, the earlier settlers of America, being, you know, the Native Americans and the northern tribes, Latinos, Puerto Ricans. You know, when Esau first came down here, you know, they were peaceful with them. All right, they were very peaceful with them. But now we're in a time where there's no peace.
That's right.
No one's at peace with this devil. Definitely not us.
That's right. Well, and ultimately, we were never at peace with them, but, you know, because verse 21 exposes them. You're right, 100%. But there was a time when it was calm. Verse 21, Psalm 55 and 21, it says, "His words were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet they were drawn swords." So that's a spirit, Esau, Edom, starting with the leader of the free world and the rest of these people that you see there. That's how they function, right? So here's the point, right, for the elect now. It says, "Cast thy burden upon the Lord," right? And don't get choked out, right? The Lord speaking now to his elect. "Cast thy burden upon Yehovah Hashem Yahushai, and he shall sustain thee. He shall never suffer the righteous to be moved."
That's right.
Okay. Verse 23, I'll just finish it off. It says, "But thou, O power, shall bring them down in the pit," which is Babylon, the pit of destruction, right? And we know about that war, but we're going to watch the pit fall apart, right? It's circling the drains. "Bloody and deceitful men shall not live, but live out half their days, but I will trust in thee. Simply put. Right. So yeah, man. It's over for the pit, really, what's going on. And there's destruction coming. Right. We spoke about the wars and different wars, and that climax war goes into a battle of Armageddon. And the beautiful thing is, you people can sit around and twiddle your thumbs, but it's going to be sudden. That's the point.
Sure. I got one thing, one precept about Kusha. I got one after. Yeah. All right. So this is the book of Sirach, and we always bring this out. Sirach 2 and GNT, and it reads, "My child, if you're going to serve the Lord Yahweh, prepare for times when you will be put to the test. Be sincere," as the elder mentioned earlier today, when it comes to the lessons, right? Either you're with there or without. You can't be a lukewarm, right? I mean, we're all busy, but somehow you gotta like have some time to do this job. Be sincere.
Hey, you know what I'm thinking? If we have to fight on to death, if we have to strive on to death, then striving to do a lesson can't even prepare.
Gone.
You know what I mean? So there's no excuse.
Verse 2, "Be sincere and determined. Keep calm when trouble comes. Stay with the Lord Yahweh. Never abandon him, and you will be prosperous at the end of your days." When it comes to the word prosperous, that doesn't mean you want to be able to make it on this world, have a house and a car, a pinky fence, the dog, and all that. That's not what we're looking for. You know, prosperous in this truth that we are those men You know?
Mhm.
Yeah, that was
This
it
is,
now.
yeah, this is not a
I got,
rest. That's right.
I got a
That's right.
quick Shalom
Mhm.
Akiams. Yahweh Shai Barakatah Shalom.
Yeah, but Shalom.
I have a quick precept getting into the video, what you brought out with the man getting shot in his neck. Yeah, this is just a quick precept. This is Mark chapter 3, verse 24. And it goes, and if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot
Beautiful.
stand.
That's the spirit.
And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand.
Yeah.
And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand, but has an end. Right? So you know that time is now, right? His kingdom, his time is up. You know, because we're living in the last days where you can actually see the scripture fulfilling in itself, and that Esau's kingdom's crumbling all around, right? So he's trying to start these psyops and all these things to see how the people are going to react and carry on, so he can push that agenda for the civil unrest, the civil war, and all these things to happen, right? But it's just a part of the Lord's plan, as I should say.
Absolutely.
You know, the time is shortened, so you know we're just living to see what's everything unfolding, and we know that means the time is even closer when you see these things happening. You know, when a kingdom's being divided, you see that their system is crumbling within. So pretty much we're seeing everything happening now. So you know, you have to tune in.
All right, beautiful, man. So with that, we're going to close up. We're going to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Hashem, Shai, Hashem, Akadash. Double honor to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone rule well and have taught this word in truth and sincerity. And peace and mercy to the hopeful elect, starting with the 144,000 that's pushing this word in truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth, as well as the innumerable multitude that sincerely believe upon the names of Yahweh and his own God and Son, Yahweh Shai. Peace and mercy to you and your household, the Baba, Kwama Shala, and Shalom. Low wellness has been straightforward and edifying to the hopeful elect.
Shalom.
Shalom. Shalom.